All right, so now we want to. So, previous episode, we got all of our base classes in for our editor. We've got a game mode, we've got a player controller, we've got a HUD, um, we've got a basic UI in here, doesn't have anything in it. That's what we're going to start on now. Let's start kind of building that UI and see where we want to go from there. Okay, so let's just probably fine to just kind of start with a canvas panel. And let's throw a horizontal box inside of the canvas panel. And that horizontal box is going to take up all of the room. We want it to be full screen. And then in that horizontal box, we're going to have, what are we going to have? Let's do a border. Let's have two borders. And a, what do I put in the middle? Maybe an overlay in between the two. Let's start with that. Okay. And then let's have our left panel fill like, let's go with like 20%. And then this border will fill 20%. And then our overlay in the middle fills up the rest. 0.2, not padding. 0.2. Okay, so we kind of have our left area. We've got our right area. And that's what we're kind of building off of. All right, so then in each border, we're going to have a vertical box. Boom. Okay. And then in here, let's go ahead and throw buttons in. 1, 2, 3 buttons. Okay. And then each of those buttons will need text. 2, 3, and then yeah. So we can just kind of like, new map, load map, save map. So this is going to be not the vertical box, the button, please. Map button. Load map button. And save map button. Okay. And then let's put a bottom padding of 18 on both of you. Just to give us some space there. Okay. So this is going to be our, what I would call this. Well, let's compile and save, and then let's go in here and start up the editor. We see it. Okay, we see our room, but we are not seeing our HUD. I got dogs going off in the background. Oh, HUD class should be the BP map editor HUD. There we go. Okay. Nice, and it shows up. Perfect. Okay, so we've got our basic HUD pieces, and we can start kind of getting that functionality going. And getting the map loading, getting it saving, all that. Okay. So we've got some sort of issue going on with our level editor now. So we had created the basic buttons. We were going to get those buttons hooked up to functionality, but right now, whenever I open the editor level, it displays the thing, but if I sit here for a couple seconds, boom, we crash. And not a whole lot of information there as to what's going on. Let's look at the directory that has these files. Let's look at the log. Some stuff. Okay, and let's see if we get anything in here. Maybe gives us an idea. Map check complete, 0 errors. All right, I don't see. I mean, nothing's jumping out at me anyway. From the log file. Let's maybe look at this. And that. Here. Right, so this is giving us access violation, writing address. Yeah, doesn't give us a whole lot of information. Let's we deal with that. Let's just pop in and see if Gemini has any idea. So this is the last where we last left off. We'll have the code. It does. All right, let's add a couple of there from those. Actually, let's just view over here. Let's add this and this. Okay. Got the here set up, but getting a cache. Added a couple of files with information that in figuring out what is going on. Any idea? File type unsupported. Oh, really? You won't let me upload a log file. Jesus. Okay, there is one thing I want to check. Let's go ahead and restart this. So there is one thing I want to check in the game real quick just to make sure that this isn't a null pointer around why would it not let me upload a log file? I'm guessing if I change both of the extensions to .txt, it won't have a problem, but it's so stupid. Okay, so, oh, but if we're going to crash every, oh yeah, I'm not going to be able to look at it. Well, let me do that. Picking log for GPU state information, map editor HUD. So, but map editor HUD shouldn't, that should be BP map editor HUD. Right, and then crash. Oh. GPU crashed. So it's got the wrong HUD file. Let's see if maybe our is our game mode when it's trying to set the default HUD class. That's nothing. If I just take this out a second and not do anything. Just for a moment. Let's see if that makes any difference. If it's something that's related to the HUD, because that is the wrong HUD. It should be using the blueprint, because the blueprint defines our widget class and whatnot, which would be null in the default one. So let's see if that, no, and now just we're getting GPU crashed or D3D device removed. Check log for GPU state information and then crash. Okay, so now this is completely different from what we were getting before. Well, that's not good. Doesn't tell us anything. Why is the why is my graphics card? All right, let's go back to Gemini. And you won't let me File type unsupported. What if I make it txt? Are you really just too dumb to understand that a log file is a text file? You are too stupid to understand that a .log file is a text file. All right, maybe we go back to Claude after this. But let's see what it says. See if it has any idea. I mean, we're really not doing anything complicated in any of this. All right. So specifically means that the graphics driver encountered an unrecoverable internal error and the operating system has essentially stopped or removed the graphics device from the perspective of your application. Usually happens when the application sends invalid commands or data to the GPU via the rendering hardware interface, which in your case appears to be DirectX 12. Log doesn't contain detailed DREAD information, which makes pinpointing the SXGP code build difficult. Related to rendering geometry, shaders, or textures. A map manager, yep, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's try. Let's open this again. Let's take out the map manager. Oh, I can't take out the map manager because I can't open the level. As soon as I open the level, we die. Okay. All right, if I put this back, do we stop? Does that put us back to our other error where it actually loaded and then crashed? No, now we just straight up GPU crashed, or even though nothing changed. So now we just have a completely different error. So frigging weird. It is up to date. And the level files are okay. Well, then do we create a completely new editor? New editor. Do we open that? Okay. Nothing crashing. World settings should be BP editor game mode. HUD class should be BP map editor HUD. Save. Why does this change? Okay. Now if I add a map manager and a light, 0, 0, 0. Light, go to 0, 0, 0. Then if I give you data, tell you to go ahead and save that. Tell you to generate, then we crash. Okay. So the crash is definitely related with rendering the information. Okay. So it's something with drawing the grid. It's or drawing the meshes within the level. All right, so now if I switch to this, do we just immediately crash? No, because we're not rendering the information yet. And if I click play, okay, we're rendering, but now we're back to, we're getting the GPU crashed, but we are getting our UI. And then we crash. Okay. So this was all working. This was all working perfectly fine. And now all of a sudden it's not. I mean, there has been 0 changes to the map manager and to anything for generating the things, and this was all working perfectly fine. All right, let's try. I haven't tried. I want development 164 editor. What if we open it in debug? And let's see if we can get the line of where we're actually crashing. Maybe that will help give us an idea of what's going on. All right. So we open you up. I select you. I go ahead and generate the map visuals. Boom. Then we blow up. Okay. Try interpret thread. Go in the thread. Disassembled. I did not help in, are you? XORing EDX to EDX. Simple sockets. All right, so this unfortunately is not helpful. But we know we're something in our generate visuals. So let's throw a few breakpoints. And let's see what's with that. Let's go ahead and open this one. And just boom. Straight to there without hitting any of these breakpoints. Wow. Okay. That is super not helpful. Let me go back to then our level test. Is it going to do the same thing? No, now we're getting into here. Maybe it is related to the... Maybe it is still related to the UI. Nope. And then boom. Back to the same error. Yep. GPU crash. Jump. Okay. Well, unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to end this episode here. I'm going to try just rebooting my machine. Maybe this is just a jacked up Windows thing. I'll try restarting, seeing if that cleans things up. If not, then in the next episode we'll continue to kind of dig into this. I think I'm probably going to set up a Claude project for this code and have Claude take a look at what we have here and get its suggestions on if there's anything in the code base that maybe looks a little funky or is dangerous, or we're missing some checks or something somewhere that could potentially be causing some of this. And maybe we'll just kind of have Claude run with this for a little bit. One of the benefits with Claude will be that I do have an MCP server set up on that, so it'll be able to just, read and write the files and make the changes. So a lot less watching me copy paste shit from one screen to another. It will just edit the files directly, and then we can go, look at the code and whatnot off of that. And then, maybe if Claude looks at this and is like, oh yeah, you're doing this dumb thing, and you should really be doing this, then, maybe we run with Claude for a little while, and see if we get better results, from that. But yeah, so next episode, we'll try that. If anybody has maybe any ideas, in the meantime, drop a comment, let me know. But we'll be back in the next episode, either having Claude taking a look at this, or maybe just the reboot works, and maybe we run with Claude for a little bit regardless. And maybe the reboot makes this just magically go away, and it's turn it off and turn it back on again Windows issue, which wouldn't be surprising. All right, but hopefully we'll have that next episode out before too long.